This goes out to you.
This on. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man.
What's up, comic fans? Let's go. Let's give away some books tonight. Welcome to Monday Night Raw Books. This is the 500 sub thank you show. Nothing big, just here to say thank you, and you're welcome, for just a great time, guys. So without further ado, let me bring from the back my cohort for tonight. We got Evil Mike in the house. What's up?
What it do? What it do?
What is up? What is up? We got Mike here. So thank you for joining me today, Mike.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. I love having you here. Let's catch up on the chat. On the chat. There we go. On the trap. Brian's in the house. What's up? And Mike's here.
Hey.
Alex. What's up, Alex? I was on a stream, Rising Rhino stream, and it says Large Marge sent him. Dagger's here. What's up, Dagger? Alex is here. What's up? What's up? Trev. What's up, Trev? And hashtag I win. All right. Who else? All right. Just a lot of repeats, but everybody's here. Sandra. What's up, Sanj? Steve's in the house. What up, Steve? Steve sent me a package. Maybe we'll open that today, too. I don't know. We'll see what's in there. What else? Who else is here? 500 plus. We're on our way to 600. So let's go. Circumstances. Marcus in the house. What is up? What is up? David's here. What's up, Dave? All right. Still catching up on the chat. A lot of chat here. I think we got everybody. Maybe. Oh, no, we did not. Happy Monday. What is up, Joe? What is up? What is up? Gary Woods is in the house. What's up, Gary?
What's up, Gary?
I lost my coaster. What else we got here? Anybody else? Who'd I miss? All right, I think I caught up. I think we are all caught up. Thank you for being here, everybody. I appreciate you being here. So, Mike, what have you been up to?
Reading. I finally got to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh,
watched that last night. I like that. It was good. In my opinion, that was the best movie we got.
Best movie we got from Marvel this year. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Live action.
Mm-hmm.
I do think I like the Spider-Verse movie a little bit more, but
I haven't seen that yet, though. I haven't seen that. I don't know if I consider that like main MCU either. I think it's all like Sony.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't consider it main MCU. So
it's got a Marvel logo on it. But I did like the first Spider-Verse, and it keeps coming up as far as like like when we go to the theater, it's one of because right now you got good choices. It's like the ones that I haven't seen is Transformers, Spider-Verse, and Indiana Jones. And so it was or Guardians, and it was like, let's go see Guardians, and it was like next time it'll be those three choices. Then next we got Mission Impossible, and shit, we got Barbie. Been trying to talk my brother into Barbie. I think Barbie's gonna be funny as shit.
I think so too. I actually want to see that. I saw Legally Blonde 1 and 2 in theaters, so
the way I explain it is, I have no love for Barbie outside of the fact that I had a sister growing up with Barbie. I might have blown up some Barbies, stuff like that. That's as far as it goes, but I still have that infinity because it was there. It was a part of my I could just look across the room at my sister's junk, and it was there. I mean, she had like Rainbow Bright stuff, Care Bears. I wasn't into that stuff, but it's still there. It's still part of my life.
Yeah, so, I'm pretty sure a couple of my GI Joes dated Barbie growing up. So
I
So
think they did too, and I think my GI Joes were better for it. I mean, they had real women. Compared to the little 6-inch GI Joe women they gave us. Stop seeing this.
see Bizzle in the house. What is up? What is up? And we had the adventurous Joe, Joseph Michaels here too.
I think it's going to be interesting though how they market it. I like the whole slogan, like even if you hate, hey Betty, even if you hate Barbie or you love Barbie, I don't even think it has anything to do with that. If you go in just thinking it's maybe like a good comedy or a good story, I think it's going to be enjoyable, like the way they have it written. I don't know. It could be like a massive. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I read a little bit about the Barbie movie. Spoiler free right now, but she goes from from what I understand, she goes from her Barbie universe into the real world.
Yeah.
And she actually has to come to terms with emotions that I guess don't exist in Barbie fantasy world. So
we saw like a really extended preview. We went to go see some movie and we saw like a 7-minute preview, and they had like a couple dark scenes where like Barbie was actually starting to like question death and sex and stuff like that in the Barbie world. All the other like Barbie toys or what have you, of course they're actors, but they're all like, what is death?
right.
I don't know. I think I don't know. It could be something cool if they do it right, kind of thing. It could be a brand new way to do a toy movie, kind of thing. It's how do you do a Barbie movie live action? I mean, do you set it in their world and just do it like that? Like, what grown man would go see that movie if we had a Barbie live action movie where we were just watching her shop or going to Barbie Mansion and she's dating Ken the whole movie? Like what guy would go? I wouldn't. I'll tell you that.
Right.
Ah.
And I think I forget it. I think it's the director was the same guy or was it the writer? I forget now, but the person who had a big part to do with Barbie also had a big part with the Truman Show. So they seem to have that.
I can see that. I can kind of see that. I'd say I don't know anything involved, like the writer or the director. I haven't looked into that, which I should have by now. But usually that's advertised, like, hey, blah blah blah, But I haven't. I don't know who's attached to it besides the cast.
Right. Oh man, I mean, looks like a pretty good cast.
And I think that's another reason I'm invested in it is the amount of star power they brought into it, and it's the actual funny people that they grab, like Will Ferrell, even though he looks like the bad guy character. And my brother was like, it's the same as the Lego movie. They're doing the same trick. He's gonna play like the bad guy. And I'm like, I mean, what was wrong with that? The Lego movie was great, No, but I do like the cast. I mean, like Paul Rudd's in it, Will Ferrell, like Michael Cera. And I think there's a ton of that. There's enough funny people. If they had the right script, they can have fun with it. Kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, it just looks like a cast that would be good with making stuff up on the fly too.
What's up, Chop?
Is Chop in the house?
Yeah, Chop's in there. What's up, Dan?
Let's catch up on this chat then.
Glenn's here. What's up, Glenn? Thanks for stopping by. Trev, Brian, Joseph Michaels, Kenneth Bird.
Kenneth Bird in the house. What's up? What's up? All right. Everybody saying what's up. Chop, what's up?
I know a lot of people are excited for Mission Impossible. Me, I honestly, I got lost somewhere in the franchise and I haven't seen like the last 3 new ones. I think like the whole when they switched it up with the Kit Harington character or whatever, like between Mission Impossible 3 and 4 or whatever it was.
Right.
I've lost the story. Hey, what's up, man? Lost the story or whatever. I don't know. I need to go back and watch. But I know a shoot ton of people are excited for Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I know. I just like watching Mission Impossible because it's just a fun movie, right? And a lot of the stunts were done by Tom Cruise. He does a lot of his own stunts. It's just an interesting movie to see. So yeah, I've lost a little bit of track of the film itself as well. Like the progression of it, where the characters have gone. But
Honestly, the story, if I had to compare it to another major franchise movie that's out right now, it's like Fast and Furious. It's like the I think they started at one place in the beginning, and now it's so far gone. But I don't know, nothing against either franchise. And both franchises were very successful, kind of thing.
that's true. All right. So let's do the first giveaway. This is just for like 6 random books, but I noticed it's late. A couple of people were like, "We're peacing out," so I want to give at least something away before everybody just walks away.
Yeah, hit it.
So let me share my screen and we'll do this. But yeah, there's a lot of good movies coming out. And then I still have to see the Transformers movie, the Beast Wars movie.
I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard that's the movie that's the movie of the summer or whatever. Like, I don't know. I saw Flash, and I really love Flash. I want to see the Barbie movie. There you go. Hashtag I want to see the Barbie movie. Y'all hit it in the chat. It's actually a really good hashtag. It's got a little long, but what do you call it? No, I like Flash, but maybe it's DC goggles or whatever. I love DC, so I think there was a couple missed opportunities, I'd say. But and I do agree with the CGI. That one scene in the beginning looks like, it looks just like it's not a finished scene. Like, I feel like, especially with certain aspects of the scene, and I'm not trying to spoil anything, but because I know there's some people in the chat that haven't seen it yet. But I want to say there was a couple scenes that looked specifically like they weren't finished or they were meant to be something else or something. But I want to say overall, I enjoyed the movie, and some of the best parts were the parts that most people were scared about, like Ezra Miller's performance. I thought he was like my favorite part of the movie, kind of thing.
Yeah, Glenn, you have to type that. Yeah, I'm making you work for these free books.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with your assessment, especially on the acting. Yeah, I think they did a good job with that. Again, I think some people were.
I'll say this: look at it as far as comic accurate to movie accurate. It was pretty spot on. And yes, there were things they changed. Like in the comic, it was Superman versus Supergirl. That's changed, but the whole setup down to him trying to get his powers back, it was pretty minus the bad guy and minus Supergirl, everything else was pretty, pretty close to the comic. So I'd have, and I hadn't read Flashpoint. I had to go back and I still haven't physically read all of it. I've only read bits and pieces, but I listened to a whole comics explain where they went into it or whatever. I thought it was pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I remember, because Flashpoint was 2011 or 12, I think, really early. But yeah, it was pretty darn accurate. And even if it wasn't, I actually enjoyed the movie. It got a couple of laughs out of me. I definitely laughed more than I thought I would at that movie.
Bro, there was one part where I hysterically laughed out. It was that one part where they were in the bat plane or whatever, and the one Ezra Miller had the mask on weird or whatever. Bro, that it wasn't even a line that was delivered. It was just a moment, a scene, and that right there was. I thought that was it had the whole. We saw it and it was a packed theater. It wasn't. How everybody explains, there was nobody in, because we saw I want to say a week and a half late, and we thought there was going to be nobody there. It was still packed,
Right. Yeah, and I think it was one of those movies that was probably a little slow to get momentum. I think people, had issues going into the film. It's also DC. I think even knowing The Flash may have been a better movie, people are still a little sour on what the DC, movie universe. So
I can say the biggest failed attempt is we didn't get to see any, new James Gunn kind of stuff at the end of this. I felt like we should have seen a piece maybe, and not. I know they haven't done casting or anything, but they could have waited. You know, they could have. I mean, they'd already like. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. TMNT movie looked like it's gonna be. We forgot all about that one. That one has a good cast too.
I actually think that's gonna be fire. But I've liked all the turtle stuff.
Yeah, I grew up with the Turtles. That was dope. Gal and Jason were in the movie. Missed the opportunity. Having them fight would have been epic. Yeah, but having Aquaman drunk in a puddle is just as epic, right? All right, let's. We got 13 out of 6, 13 out of 17. I think we can spin this. I'll give it another 20 seconds. Yeah, I think that turtle movie though. That's gonna.
I think the turtle movie is gonna be fun. The last, like, I didn't watch the newest iteration of Turtles. I didn't like the way they looked and how they changed it up a little bit. But I've watched everything up until that point, and I've liked all the animation. Like as far as like the new seasons, as far as like the TMNT movie, even the 20th anniversary. I forgot what they called it. It was like Ninja Turtles Forever or whatever. I thought that was great. The Batman versus Ninja Turtle movie. I thought that was good.
Yeah, definitely hit that like button. I'm gonna hit this giveaway button, and we're gonna see who gets this. 4 people. The hashtag was a bit too long for 4 people. Oh,
Okay, Chop. Congrats, Chop.
Chop. So there's like 2 people in the community who I literally have not sent prizes to. Chop is one, but he has like a ton of stuff. His box just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And Trev, but Trev was like, give my stuff to everybody else. But Trev, I owe a sticker to. So Trev, I have your sticker box. It's already packed, shipped. It's getting ready to ship tomorrow, and I threw in a special sticker for you. But yeah, Chop, congrats, bud. So you're gonna get some random books. All right, so Chop, while you're here, let's give away. I got a ton of prints too, so I'm gonna throw a print in with your books. Chop, you like Catwoman? I don't know. Like Catwoman? I'll throw this print in if you like it. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you don't like it, I'll look for another print. Chop back with a vengeance. Shows up and wins right away. Let's put you back in there. Let's see. Yeah, Trev knows. Sticker. He's been asking for that.
Stickers.
Trev's been asking for that sticker for months. Months. And the funny thing is, I actually did send Trev a sticker. I sent him a sticker, and it got thrown out with the packaging because I didn't put it in the box. I put it in the box outside the box. I only have one sticker here. Oh no, I got a Roscoe sticker. Roscoe. Got some DJ.
I don't have a Roscoe.
I
I got DJing. I got Legion. I got LCS. Brian LCS. I got Trev. I got Scotty. And
I got Chop sticker.
Yep, I got Chop.
Got the Chop sticker.
I got multiple Chop. I think I have Chop's first. I have Chop's third. I think so. Love community stickers. That's like one of my favorite things since we all like started. I need stickers. And I tried to do stickers and they were like messing up my logo, so I like backed out.
Nice. Yeah, I'm thinking about a new logo, but we'll all right, so I haven't finished it yet. I was hoping to have it done by today. But I borrowed the idea of having that short box There we go. The Trev. Do I have a Trev sticker? Oh,
I got two Trevs. I got Trev this way, and then I got like Trev down there.
and Trev's everywhere.
Trev, no. I got like just like Brian. I got Brian over here. I got Brian over there. I think I got the DJ the most because I have like DJ on a bunch of my boxes. I think he's on my fridge because he gave me a magnet. And I have him on the wall. So and I think Cole's another one of those person because he threw in the bag.
I got the Cole magnet. It's this. Yeah, there it is. I also have both of these guys. I got the original and the old. I got the only slabs and the slab hub magnets.
I'm trying to think of something because right now I just have them like pin. I don't have them like push pinned into the wall. I use push pins to like they
Keep
just
them
set.
up.
Yeah, they just sit there. But like I need to figure out some way like so I can show them off, but at the same time I don't want to like just stick them on something. I like I don't know. It's almost like collectibles. Like some of them I have in vinyl like card cases and shit.
All right, Trev. Let me know if you want front, back, middle front, middle back. I'm gonna pull some books out of this box. I just need a location. First book in the box, last book in the box. Give me a number if you want. I'll count it.
I'll look at the comments and see what Trev says.
All right. We need a community sticker.
Ooh, I like that idea. Damn, Brian, you come up with some good ideas. Yeah, we need like what was that dude that did the scrapbooks? I know y'all know who I'm talking about, but he did those like badass like comic scrapbooks or whatever. He could do our like sticker book and we'll just pass that around. I need somebody to just do my sticker and then I'll pay for it because whenever I do it, it's like I don't know if it's because I'm on my phone, like they chop it up all weird. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, Trev, you could pick for chop.
You heard what he was asking. He wants to know if you want to do it back to front, underneath, like the first fifth book. You know, he's asking Trev for direction.
Sports card. It's a comic show.
Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of sports.
Right?
He said 5 dead in the middle.
5 dead in the middle.
I like that.
All right. So we're gonna do.
I'm waiting for somebody to go underneath.
I'm gonna do 5, and then I'm gonna do dead in the middle.
Okay.
All right. So I forgot to put kiddie books in here. All right. So if you're picking like the first 10, you gotta get a kid book. We got Unicorn. This is the comic Tom.
All right. From Comic Tom.
Unicorn. This actually was not a bad book, and this is the Dr. Seuss variant. I read the first issue. I thought it was decent. You know, if you want a book for kids, that's actually a good one.
Yeah.
All right, let's try Dead in the Middle. Dead in the Middle, we gotta do some of this in there. We got the hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, Battle on the Waterfront. This is a 40-center from looks like 1976 newsstand.
That's a dope looking book right there. Like, yeah.
I like up here. It just legit says if it would focus in, it just says Kung Fu. I don't think it'll focus, but it's like Kung Fu, and it's still got the comic code stuff on it too. This is a nice oldie. Yeah. All right, we got. I'm gonna need like 3 more picks. We're gonna give away 5 books.
2 from the back.
Which one you want, Mike?
2 from the back. Just
2
go
from
2.
the back.
Let's see what you got.
And
You got
2. We got this X-Men number 13 James Sticko variant. And the cool thing about this, I'm just gonna make myself big for 1 second. It's a Predator variant. So there's some Predators in there. It's the X-Men fighting Predators.
Ooh, I like that. I didn't get none of those Predator variants. I think most of them got banned or whatever. I forget why. Oh, they didn't have the license yet. Or whatever.
At that point, I don't think they had the license. All right, I'm gonna need 2. I'm gonna need 2 more numbers. I'll take them from whoever responds first. 2 more locations. Get back in there.
Hey.
What's up? All right. So these are the picks so far. Oh, we got 8
Yeah,
and 12.
8 and 12.
All right, we're going 8.
I like those numbers.
Oh, 8, 12, and 13. You know what, Chop? I'll give you all those numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is New 52, week 17 with Lobo, the main man on the cover.
I like that.
All right. That was 8. Let's see what we got now. We got 9. We got 10. We got 11. We got 12. All right. We're going to help you. Maybe you want to collect all of the new 52 because we got issue 23 with Black Adam on it. This is like a
Yeah, first appearance of like Orchid or whatever her name is.
Osiris.
Osiris, that's it. That's it.
So there we go. That was 12. We'll give you 13. 13 is, I had to skip one because I had doubles of, I don't think you want 2 of the new 52, but this is Aranya. This is issue number 9, Heart of the Spider. So that's a little spider adjacent, Spider-Verse action. And we'll give you one bonus book. 22 in the house. What is up? What is up? 3 from the back. All right, 1, 2.
Yeah, same here, Joseph. He said, I love Lobo's jacket vest. It says Bite Being Fanboy on the back.
Nice. And we got X-Men number 2. All right. So that's what you're getting, bud.
Was that the Hickman run?
It's from the Hickman run, yep.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. And this is like a minor spec key too. There's some acolyte or something in there. One of the people from Morocco. Some first appearance.
Oh yeah. It's Apocalypse's children or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's the first appearance of his like wife and his 4 kids or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah, probably. So that's what you got coming to you, bud. Some nice books. All right. Cool. And they're all freshly bagged and boarded. These are fresh bags. Yeah, this is
What? Yeah, look, Chop likes it. Nice books. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you for coming. Thanks for stopping by.
Man, congrats on the 500, man. You know what I'm saying? We're slowly climbing, but we're getting there. You know what I'm saying?
Slow and steady. Slow and steady. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Let's see. While we're here, I want to share some. I was doing some comic. I forgot to post it today, by the way. Trev, I'll have it out tomorrow. I was doing my new comic book day preview for this week, and I was supposed to post it, but I forgot. But I found some dope covers. These are Spider-Man covers, by the way. I just want to share that while we're here. Like this Amazing Spider-Man number 29. This just reminds me of. Let me bring it up. There it is. It just reminds me of like when. It reminds me of when the Spider-Man covers used to show him in danger, you know, and like you had a genuine fear for Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Like, oh no. So I really I just wanted to share that because I thought that was a really dope cover. There's also what were you saying?
No, I was saying I like it. It's some good artwork.
Mm-hmm.
I like that it just showcases Spidey, you know.
Yeah. And the cover artist is Ed McGuinness. Which is interesting because he does kind of still have a JR feel, you know? But it's definitely not Ed McGuinness. So that's cool. Also this week, for those of you who are collecting them, we have the Disney 100 variants coming out.
Yeah.
So go ahead and grab yourself one of those if that's what you like. And then there is another Spider-Man book I wanted to show this week. This is Miles Morales, Spider-Man number 8. And that's
I'll be grabbing.
Yeah, that's an awesome like homage.
Miles has been good, yeah, and specifically that. I'm only picking up 2 Marvel this week. It's that one, and I think Red Goblin.
Yeah,
I might pick up the Death of Kamala. You know, I don't know. I'll see. It's only $5.
right. Yeah, this one I mean is awesome. You know, if you have, which I recently picked up one, but if you have that 238 cover, I think you need that companion. And Miles for me has been one of the better, if not the best, Spider-Man book out right now.
Miles has been good, and the whole Carnage Reign thing, it was all right.
Yeah. Yeah, the people Marvel's going Google Gaga for Carnage. Like every other week, there's a new Carnage book. So.
Yeah, well, they're dropping. I mean, I kind of pointed this out. They're doing the Web of Carnage this week, and the storyline takes place after the Extreme Venomverse event. Like, we haven't made it to the end of the Extreme Venomverse, so why would you drop like something that's supposed to happen like after the event? I don't know. I think it's gonna be weird, but because I think there's gonna be spoilers because we haven't even seen Extreme Carnage, the one that all the Venom are running from. So, and they've shown him off in previews, but he hasn't shown up in the comics yet. So, I mean, I mean, but it's not the first time Marvel spoiled their own stuff. It was just kind of weird. Another thing is, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe anybody that's reading the Spider-Verse stuff, but I thought Moreland was dead. I thought he died. I thought he was one of the totems that did die off, and I thought in main continuity, like he physically died, or maybe he ran away. I don't remember.
Right, because I know in Spider-Verse, right? Don't they? He ends up dying again. In the
it was like right. I think it was like part of the reason they were able to bring Bailey Briggs back. Like the Spider Boy was, like most of the totems. Like when they killed what's her face, like or got rid of her or whatever, undid her. I don't know. It was so confusing. But I want to say like I thought she had killed Moreland like before that happened, and I don't remember him coming back. But now all of a sudden, I don't know. All the spider stuff, man. We got like how many different verses right now? We got like I think there's and the whole like the edge of Spider-Verse that's supposed to be explaining like how all the other spiders, or maybe that's it. Maybe we just haven't, because like I am reading that one, the Edge of Spider-Verse, and they haven't gone into maybe they haven't gone into where Moreland pops up again. I don't know.
Right. Let's see.
What else you read?
What was that?
What else did you read this week?
What else am I reading this week? So we got a couple of books coming out this week. The funny thing is I just looked at the FOC books too. So I'm like, what is actually coming out? We have so there's Antarctica is a new Image book that's coming out this week. I might, I think I'm gonna check that out. Also, Jeff Lemire has Fish Flies coming out.
And pass on both.
Yeah,
I've read. I mean, like, see, everybody's like a huge Jeff Lemire fan, and so far he hasn't really won me over. And honestly, in my opinion, it's he starts out real strong, but it's the end of his stories. Right. And I know you read Primordial. I know you've been reading like most of the Bone Mythos, like.
Right.
I mean, they're good stories when they start out. Like Primordial, you're talking about, it's not even that we got an ending. I want a definition on what the hell was going on, bro. Come on, give me a part 2. Like, I mean, it was a great story, but at the same time, it's like one of those things where it's like, is he going to keep doing this? Where it's like, we don't really get these definite, I'm not a big fan of that. Like, leave it up to your imagination on every story I read kind of ending,
Right.
Like it's great every now and then, but lately, like I May's book, like I can name off a bunch, and they just had weird, like kind of fizzled out endings.
Yeah, no, and that is the thing with Jeff Lemire, right? You get on the train very early, very quickly, and if it's like a 5-issue mini, you're going to be 3 issues in before you're like, what? And then when it finishes, yeah.
I like the fish flies. I got the preview, you know, the free comic book. I did a review
Yeah.
on it. You know, I mean, I liked it and everything, but I think somebody put it like plainly. It's basically like a redone version of the fly. It's about this
Mm.
guy turning into this fish fly thing, and like I get it, you know, but like,
Right.
eh, uh, I mean, right now I'm not, like, there's a lot of books coming out. Like, if I could pass up a book, I'm really like, I'll live
Yeah.
through other people on that one.
I get it. There's not a lot coming out from Boom, so I'm probably not. I will be getting Batman Incorporated. I've been reading that with the Joker Incorporated story.
I,
I don't know if you read the last one, but that it's an interesting twist. I mean, I feel like it's been done before, but it does seem cool.
He always does the gas thing, if that's what you're talking about. Like I kind of assumed that, but like I like the whole like that he's handpicked these like Joker guys to go after him. I don't know. He's really just messing with him. He's messing with. You know what he's doing. Oh, well, that's kind of why I like it, because they're doing Batman like the first test from the Joker. He's basically throwing that first test at Ghostmaker to see if he'd snap, or you know, it's
Right.
that one bad day thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna read that. I like where they've been going with that one. Also from DC, I'll be reading Danger Street number 7.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
got 2 stars on my list.
Yeah, I feel like that had like a little bit of a hiatus, if you will, but you could only miss like a month or whatever it was.
I can say I'm not a huge fan of that. These like series that are only 12 issues long that take like more than a year to come out with. It's like, come
Right.
on, man. Honestly, at that point, it's like I feel like these are read better in trade format kind of thing.
Yeah, especially when it's 12 issues, because if you're gonna stop after issue 5 or 6, and then take 2 months off, it's like where did I leave off? Yeah.
I love the writing, but there is a trend. Like, I mean, didn't you do like Batman, Catwoman before this, and that was like a long, drawn out, and then it was like I love the writer, but at the same time, it's like, come on, you know, like it's a story read in extreme slow motion kind of thing. No, I love
Yeah.
Danger Street. I'm super excited for it. I think honestly that's one of my top books from this year. It's just been that good, like art, story.
It is that good. The thing is, there's so many. Right, we're in issue number 7. There's so many pieces to it, so many things intertwining.
And the way the direction, the way it's going, like it leaves you wanting more. Like each issue, and it's not like a cliffhanger bullshit wanting more. It's a, you know, it's one of those stories that it gets you in. Like you literally sit there and think about stuff that you read. You know, and I've had to go back and like look at different panels and stuff, and like review certain things that I read before. I don't often do that with books.
Yeah. And I think like you said, it's not a cliffhanger. It's that each piece kind of gets closer and closer to each other. So each character, yeah, is getting closer to, you know. There's a Bill Sienkiewicz variant cover this week. I don't know how I feel about it, but for those who love Bill Sienkiewicz, there is a cover.
You go in Stranger Things TMNT.
You know, I saw that, and when I put out the video, I literally, as I'm scrolling through it, I go, "What is that?"
I am, because my brother is a fan of both. He loves Stranger Things. I love both franchises. I think it's a weird mix, and that's why like I'm kind of curiously wanting to read it, because the matchup is just so weird. Like, yeah, 11 has powers, but like, what are the other kids gonna? I mean, so I imagine it to be like a detective style story. I don't know.
No, it looks like it could be fun. So I am interested to see how they mix those two. As was mentioned, Night Terrors it kicked off last week, but it really gets ramped up this week.
Man, I've read so far 3 books in the Night Terror series. I read the Joker, the Batman, and the First Blood book, and I've enjoyed all 3 of them. Not only that, but they do tie into main continuity, like the series that you're reading. Like, a lot of people didn't think they just thought it was going to be like a 2-issue break from the. Nope, they reference stuff from the main series that they're talking about.
Right. Yeah. No. So they've definitely woven it into the fabric of the DC continuity.
So far, I thought it was pretty good. I'd heard kind of mixed reviews on the Joker story. I actually really loved it. There was actually the first page of the story was another one of those like laugh out loud scenes. Like when I read it, I was like, "What the fuck?" And like I stopped and I had to go show it to my brother and stuff, and he laughed. He was like, "What the hell is that story about?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm gonna find out." No, but I actually enjoyed the whole. I thought it was really good.
Yeah. So I mean, I read. I have the Joker one. I didn't read it yet, and I read the first like the primer. I forget what the first book
First Blood.
was. First Blood. Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, we get introduced to the main villain, Insomnia, right?
Mhm.
There's a couple of funny moments with Batman and Dead Man.
Yeah.
So
Get out of my body.
Yeah. Don't
He
do
like
that.
literally like
Yeah.
literally like throws him up. Like, get out of my body.
Yeah, he's like, can we not? So
I think for me, like I was really excited about the art, but then after I like got into the comic, I could say it's like like hit or miss. I think there's
Yeah.
like most of the book is beautifully drawn, and there's sometimes it's just like really sloppy or like shaded badly or something, and it's like
right.
I don't know, but it was just that one. Like I said, I read the Batman one, and the Batman one was like honestly going into this, I'm a huge DC fan, and then the promise of the story is you get to see characters' nightmares that you might not. It's like what could you have possibly imagined Black Adam's dreaming about or what is he scared of kind of thing. So that's kind of the premise hold that it has on me because I've invested in a lot of these characters, and some of them I can't imagine what their nightmares would be, but some I can. Like Batman, I mean, if you're a big enough Batman fan, you kind of already know what his main fear is, kind of thing. But it's kind of like Joker, but like actually reading the Joker story, I thought it was very interesting the route that they took it in, because for the most part, it is what most people could think, but they actually had a decent and good enough spin.
True. Yeah. I mean, you have Night Terror's Robin is coming out this week, and the first thing I thought about that was the Robin King, and I was like,
Yeah,
just
where
don't
he
get.
goes through and kills everybody.
Yeah, but yeah, it isn't like you were saying. It is interesting to get into the psyche of these characters and figure out, what fuels them and what scares them.
I think there was a solid point in this event that they explained in the beginning that everybody in the world was asleep at the same time. So it's not like one of those things where people are going to be asking like, well, where were they at that moment? What were they doing? Why couldn't they help out? Where everybody passes out at the same moment. So I kind of thought that was cool, because usually in events you have those weird like story holes or like moments where you're like, well, where the fuck were the West Coast Avengers at, or where the I mean, there's a big hole in the planet. Like nobody showed up for the big hole.
right. They're like on vacation, just like, nah, we're good. Somebody else will handle it.
I did pass on some. I passed on the Ravenger. I passed on certain characters that I'm not either reading or I don't know enough about. Or
Right. So you got you got Shazam, Robin, Green Lantern this week.
This week you got Night Terrors, the main book, because each week like everybody's like, oh my god, it's so many. It's only 5 books each week. It's 5 Night Terrors books that they're dropping. So this week is Night Terrors #1, and then it's Night Terrors Green Lantern, Night Terrors Robin, Shazam, Flash, Zatanna, and I think I'm picking up all of those. I think all of those are all. Like, even though I told Trev I was trimming down everything, but Trev, it's still trimmed down. It's still trimmed down. Like just not trimmed down.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I remember when you were like, "I'm picking up." I think you said something like 30, and I was like, "Oh, you're only spending like $30 a week on books?" I was like, "I do that sometimes." And you're like, "No, I'm getting like at least 30 books." And I'm like, "Oh."
My list. This is the trim down list, and my list, the amount from this week is 22 books. And that's trimmed down. Like that's like I cut like I think 10 books from Marvel that I would have been picking up. I cut I think 3 books I would have been picking up from like DC, and I think I cut like I want to say 5 indies that just weren't winning me over or something like that. I'm still picking up some indies like Animal Castle, Something Epic, and Dark Ride. Stories.
I try to cut books, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I feel like it lasts like 2 or 3 months, and then somehow I fall back on the wagon.
I often okay, so this is a big dilemma for me because I still face scrutiny. I still get bullied for buying comics, and I face it at home with my brother. I face it with people I work with, and they hear that that's what I spend my money on. Because the money I do spend on comics, that's my fun money. I set aside rent, food, stuff like that. But my comics is a separate fund, and I've explained this before. I see it as a bill. Each week I go through, I actually have like a dollar value that I set aside, and I calculate how much money I have, for each week and stuff like that. But at the same time, you talk about something that gives me like this much passion. I don't think there's anything in the world at this moment for me that gives me as much passion as just being able to read these stories and stuff. And YouTube's a big side of it because it allows you the ability to be on YouTube and talk to others about comics, and but it's not a necessity.
Yeah, and as long as you do it smartly, right? You know what your budget is, then then that's really all that matters. If you can keep yourself happy and stay within certain a limit, hey, you can go crazy. If you can afford to buy 200 books and that's what makes you happy, then go buy 200 books.
I often think about what would you be spending your money on? And most people drink, or most people,
Right.
it's not even like physically stuff that they had. Yeah, it's memories, stuff
Right.
like that. But at the same time, so is me and reading this fantastic book. It's a
Right.
different type of memory, but
Right, you can go on vacation, or you can transport yourself to another world through just one of these comics. That's cool.
and that's like what I think it's Dagger that just said that. Cards is 99%. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Right.
I don't know why for some people it is weird that we buy nerdy stuff, and for others it's acceptable. It's really a weird thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Speaking of weird, though, are you reading Doom Patrol?
I am.
I've
basically right now, I don't think there is a DC title that I'm not picking up. There might be some that started before the whole dawn of the DC thing, but I think right now, this week would have been the first with Night Terrors that I actually missed two books out of that because I didn't pick up the Ravager one, and I didn't pick up one of the other ones that came out. But other than that, I think all the separate one-offs that they've started. Now I can say there's one that I'm just not too big into, but it's Cyborg, and surprisingly everything else, all the Superman's we're in a golden era of Superman, and for those, I'm not such a huge Superman fan. I like all DC characters, but as far as reading and stuff, he was never one of the top characters I would go for. But you're talking about the era that we're in right now with Superman. It's fantastic. Superman Lost, it paints a different, a whole different perspective on what is Superman afraid? Well, guess what? You put him out in space, he's not so great. He faces dilemmas like everybody else.
Right. Yeah, I think we're definitely back in it's definitely a renaissance for Superman. This is probably the best Superman stuff I've read in maybe a decade. It is really good. I hate to shit on Bendis, but he kind of, I feel like the character was heading in a really good direction, and then DC got Bendis on board, and he kind of just he tanked it. And I understand Bendis almost died and created a character based on his doctor, well, named after his doctor, but not really based on it. If my doctor acted like that guy, I'd be really scared. But we're in a really good place for DC books in general, and just
we're in a comic golden age, and I'm gonna say that I think since the beginning of the pandemic, it's not just been the sales market, it's not just been the amount of fans, new comic book collectors, it's not writing and art. There's been all aspects of our the comic collecting community has I would say we're in a new era, and it's been great. But it's not going to last forever. Of course, nothing ever does. But like right now, like writing and art on all, from every company. I mean, it might be one of the smaller ones, like Antarctic Press or something. They're striving to try and put out like the best stories and art to make that dollar. I like seeing this.
It's
Man, before this, I never would have. I was not an indie person. Like you talk about before, like 2020. No, I can't say that. Maybe like 2012, I would say, because you started having books like Saga and like East and West and stuff that popped up in between here and there. Of course, Umbrella Academy and The Boys, But no, you're talking about like before this, I wasn't really into indies. And you talk about like the main hype that I get out of yeah, we brought up Mission Impossible. No, but we talk about the hype that comes from stories right now. For me, it's DC and indies, man.
Yeah, DC. Yeah, Marvel. Yeah, it's fallen by the backside. But speaking of Marvel, I think we're at a good point to do the second giveaway.
Let's do it.
So we're going to do this X-Men number 4, 9.4 white pages. Classic Jim Lee, Scott Williams cover. To CBCS, just so you know. And in case you didn't know, it's the first appearance of Omega Red. And also Matsuo Tsusuyama. So there you go.
That's that scientist that dies in the lab with Omega Red.
Yeah. All right, there you go. So we're gonna give this away. Let's do the. I guess this is the point where I share.
Do it. I'll go get a drink.
Yeah. All right. Boom. Hashtag 500. Yeah, Legion, you missed the hashtag I want to see the Barbie movie. Not everybody entered because it was way long of a hashtag. But the jokes were actually really good about it. Loved it. So, hashtag 500 for this guy. What out? This came out of my PC too, personal collection. And I sent this to CBCS just so you guys can put in yours. And as you know, CBCS does grade or was grading a little harder. I feel like if you crack this and got it pressed and cleaned, you might be able to get a 9.6 or a 9.8. I don't see any spine ticks. And I can actually check the grader's notes right now for you guys. If you guys are interested in such a thing.
What was it, a 9.8?
It's a 9.4.
Oh, okay.
But white pages, but there's like no spine ticks. As far as let's see, the notes say very minor foxing top back cover. That's the only note, and it's a 9.4. So I mean, it's somebody who can clean and press it for you real good. I feel like you got a 9.6, 9.8.
I think it's great at a 9.4, man. Just having that 9.4, Mega Rev. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's one of the best, X-Men villains until they just made him a background guy. But he was cool for a long time,
I really enjoyed I enjoyed him in the animated series when he showed up. I was like, oh, they got a Omega Red, which the animated series is making a comeback.
Yeah.
So
it's coming soon. It should be soon.
And they basically got everybody who was still available to do voices again.
Yep.
All right, we got 13 out of 16. I'll give it another 5 seconds, and then we're going to spin this bad boy.
Drop that hashtag.
9.4 is the new 9.8. All right.
Right.
We're getting to
that's a 90s 9.8, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, how old is that book? It's like 20-something years old.
Yeah, this is, what was this, 90? I think so. Cover says This was 91.
Could be.
Yeah, 91.
There you go. I love that mark. I've seen pictures of them in the brown, the yellow. They had different. It wasn't just that yellow costume.
Yeah. Oh, Steve. What's up, Steve Hater? Pulling this in. You know, it's funny. Steve sent me a package, so now Steve has this. I'm just gonna cut that box open, slip this into that package, and then put return to sender. Send it back.
Boom.
Boom. Yes, I just posted that in my Instagram story. Wolverine in the yellow suit for Deadpool. I don't know who hasn't seen that, but
and it's legit because it came from Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman.
Right. So
that is
crazy.
I'm excited. There's a bunch of stuff for Deadpool. We're talking about Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck reprising their roles, and then hopefully we'll get like Colin Farrell back as Bullseye. Right. They're talking about OG Howard the Duck. You know, like they're talking about like I've seen all kind of stuff, but I've actually seen like I think they had Jennifer Garner on set. I can't remember. There's been a lot of talk.
So they get Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner on set. You know, how's that work out?
Hey, they talk supposedly. I think they have kids.
Do you think they?
Yeah, I think they have kids together. I think so.
Oh, they might be adding Sunspot to the animated roster. All right. So yeah, congrats again to Steve. That'll be coming your way. Thanks, bud. Thank you. Yes, thank you to everybody especially those of you who supported the channel. We did not win Rising Rhino, but don't worry, there's still one more. There's still one more giveaway. That'll be coming up shortly.
But wait. And David, I don't think we're ever gonna see that Generation X popping up because I don't even think Fox remembers that they did that. Like, because it was made for TV. Like, there's very few people that know about that movie. I'll tell you that. Not that it was a bad thing. But...
Fox was doing okay with their X-Men stuff. You know, I mean, some of the movies, granted, not that great. But
I'll tell you, my biggest problem with the X-Men movies is Bryan Singer. And as soon as we got away from Bryan Singer, the movies started getting better, and then. For some reason, they went right back to the same, I don't know. I'm excited we're getting the X-Men and the MCU format. I'm excited to see what that looks like because I think that will be closer to the comic X-Men, hopefully. I mean, and I think that's what they're showing us with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited though to see what this Deadpool movie looks like. Honestly, and getting back to Fox too. What was that? They did. There was one show I used to watch all the time, and it had Polaris was on it.
Wolverine and the X-Men.
It was a TV show. It's definitely.
Oh, live action.
It was live action. It was TV show, and they were starting to do like all these, mutant related, X-Men related TV shows. And I was
You're talking about the same time they were doing like Legion. It was
yeah, Legion was good too. But that was I think that one was on FX.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but it was at like the same era, like on TV.
Yeah.
What was the name of that show? It had like two X-Men. It had like Blink and it had like
Blink was on there.
What the hell was the name of that show?
The Gifted.
The Gifted. Yeah. Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, and then they, once Disney got involved, all those.
I like the Runaways. Did anybody watch the Runaways? I like that, and I can say I never read the comics before I watched the show, but I actually enjoyed both. I think it was like 2 seasons or 3 seasons or whatever. I like the Runaways.
Yeah. The show, The Gifted, did have the Strucker twins Yeah, The
yeah,
Runaways was good. That was on Hulu, right?
yeah.
Also, they had a Cloak and Dagger on Hulu.
I never got around to watching Cloak and Dagger.
I watched the first season and started watching the second season. I feel like it kind of jumped the shark or got off the rails in the second season, but the first season was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it.
The previews looked okay, but nothing that was like so enticing. I was like, oh shit, I gotta go watch that now. And I actually kind of like Cloak and Dagger, like the characters. I'm trying to think. There's some like off the beaten wall, like that Generation X. I don't, that's like something that people like really forgot about. But I like most of the cast of this Generation X because you had I'm trying to remember his name, but he played the bad guy. And he's in so many good things. He was in The Stand. I don't know. David probably knows. David's like the spokesperson for the made-for-TV Generation X movie. He has like a whole second. Yeah, Matt Freer. I think that's how you say it. Matt Freer. David knows. David's got a whole other channel. Y'all don't know this, but his second channel is like it's called Love. I love the TV Generation X TV show.
Yeah.
It's all about the production and actors' quotes. I wish David get started on that. Okay, what happened to that movie? What?
We need Joe to have a watch party. He had the Generation X movie on VHS.
He's been talking about that. Like, I don't know no other way to watch Generation X. Legion was alright. I like Legion.
Yeah, Legion was fun. It was good. Sometimes when you have those movies that or TV shows that happen on like different planes, right? So like half of it's in his head and then half of it's in real life.
Reality, yeah.
Yeah, when reality's screwed or skewed. Sometimes it's hard to follow. Like those are the kind of shows when you actually have to like watch, right? You can't be on your phone and.
That's not casual. Legion, I found myself. I had to go back and watch it 2 or 3 times, like to actually get some of the meanings of some of the episodes. And there's a lot I don't even think I got. Like I think I had to watch like a breakdown of episodes and stuff to like fully. But I thought it was ingenious how they did it. I thought it was interesting.
It was. Glenn brings up Superman and Lois is great. They fought Doomsday in the season finale. I did see that. I saw that on Legion's channel.
I haven't seen the finale.
And I gotta watch. I watched the first season of Superman, and then I just kind of fell off. But I definitely want to watch that, especially if he's fighting Doomsday on the TV show.
That was like the end of the first season, like where they made it look like he was going to be fighting Doomsday, and then it was just bizarro, but it was still pretty cool how they did it because they did it exactly like kind of how the Doomsday entered the comics. I've watched the first 2 seasons. I haven't watched the 3rd season. Like I haven't watched any of it yet. That's like Titans. I think I made it halfway on Titans, and I haven't finished the second half. Stargirl. I don't think I watched the last 2 episodes. I'm kind of one of those guys, like once they cancel a show, like I kind of lose all faith in the show because they canceled it kind of thing. Stargirl I might go finish because I heard it does have like a good ending type of thing. But it's one of those things with shows, like once they cancel it, most times you don't get an ending. It's just like the story leaves off or
Right.
It's like, so what's the point of watching that last season if, but
yeah.
All right, Jeff. I will say some shows got picked up though, like Lucifer. I was a big fan of that show. I don't know who all watched Lucifer, but I love that show, and like it got canceled on Fox and it got picked up I think by Netflix or something like that. We got I think 2 more seasons or 3 more seasons, but I like all that the whole way through, and I actually like once Netflix picked it up because they made it like a little more adultish. I wouldn't say they went extreme with it, but I felt like it was more grown-up show like it should have been. But I love the show all like on Fox too. I thought it was good.
Let's see,
Yes.
that chick that played Shadow King killed it. Was that the same one that was on Parks and Rec? I think that's
Oh yeah, Audrey Plaza.
Audrey Plaza. Yeah, she's
Yeah, I thought and she was like my favorite part of Legion.
Yeah, she was good. She was real good.
Sandman was really good. I'm dead excited for like the second season. See, and that's the thing. A lot of these, like Sandman, I had never read that before, so that for me, that was an introduction for me into the Sandman universe. And I thought, like for me, like as someone that does read already, you're talking about that. You're talking to the right avenue if they do it right. In Sandman, bro, I'm like so into the Sandman universe. I already had my toes in, like Lucifer and Constantine and stuff like that.
No, that was definitely a good show, and it almost, even though it had continuity, it almost felt episodic, because there were times when like they would just, go off on some other tangent or have like an episode that was about something else, but it all kind of went back to the same world.
And I agree with Trev.
Kind of did something.
I agree with Trev. Tom Welling as Kane. That was actually one of my favorite episodes in Lucifer. Was that whole like retelling of, because that to me that's I'm not against the Bible or anything, right? But that is one of the stories that a lot of people forget. And if the Bible is real, like then where the hell is Cain? Like he's supposed to be walking the earth. Like we're supposed to know him. Like he's forced to like. But no, I thought that was dope what they did in Lucifer with that.
Yeah. I love when they bring back these guys too, right? Like Tom Welling, that was Superman, right? So I loved, when they did the Arrowverse and they did all that.
Legends of Tomorrow.
The Legends of Tomorrow. That was.
I like that. We got Brandon Roth as the Atom, even though he used to be Superman before. Yeah, I liked all that, and I'll say like I'm one of those people that I love the Arrowverse at first, and then it just kind of like got old and like repetitive at the end. Like especially like Legends of Tomorrow, I was really into that show because you got a mix of like weird characters, and they were characters that I generally liked, like Heatwave and Snark, like Captain Cold. They were like probably my two favorite actors from the Flash TV show. They're dynamic and. So I kind of like that they brought him into Legends of Tomorrow, but I will say, like, honestly, it was only good up until like the first or second season or something like that. Then after that, it was like wonky episode after wonky episode.
Yeah. Well, the cast kind of changed a little bit by the third, right?
You got like the Guardian, or I see this. I don't even remember who was all on there. I remember you had the guy that like turned into metal.
Yeah.
His name. He was like the librarian. Right. And then you got Vixen.
Yeah, you lost what's his face?
Like Rex Hunter.
Time traveling guy. He went away.
Rip Hunter.
Rip Hunter. Yeah, he goes away. I'm trying to remember the whole thing. Like you had Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and then it was just Hawkgirl, and then both of them were gone at some point.
That's like Flash. I love Flash all the way up until, and I made it all the way up until like Savitar, and then I was like, bro, like the last three bad guys were like the same thing over and over. Oh my God, it's a bad Flash. It's a bad version of Flash. Oh, guess what? Hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's up? Another season of the Flash. Who the bad guy's gonna be? It's another bad version of the Flash. Like, and they did that like 3 times. I was like, bro, like y'all could have like intertwined and like went back to Gorilla Grodd or something. Like,
right.
I mean. No, but for me, it just got like I think all those shows did the same thing where it was like it just got repetitive at one point, and it wasn't even like, I mean, you're talking about you got storylines for 80 years from these characters. It's not like Flash is brand new. I mean, you're talking about they could have pulled from anything in Flash, and they kept pulling like from the same. Well, we got to do his big bad guy. Let's do that. Let's do his next big bad guy. Oh, look, well, let's do his next. They're already doing like Zoom and Godfell. I'm like, what the heck?
How many times can you bring the reverse flashback? I mean, what was it? Arrow was supposed to bring Harley Quinn into the universe, and then they were doing Suicide Squad, and they axed that. And
I
I
was
think,
actually excited for that when they showed her in the lockup or whatever, and then they
yeah,
released her or whatever. I was kind of excited for that. I was like, yeah, I could do like a small TV version of Harley, you know, because I think that was before we got Suicide Squad, or it was around the same time or something like
yeah.
that.
It was it was around the time that the Suicide Squad movie was announced or whatever, and then they just kind of axed it. It was like the season finale.
Yeah,
So you get that teaser, and then they were,
they never did.
you know,
That was like what was that show? Was it called Gotham or whatever? And it was like you know, about Bruce, and he was younger or whatever, and like, you know, I was kind of a fan of that show at first, and then it was like they chose to do all these like weird versions, like they went the X-Men route, where it was like it was just they were just using the name, and then everything else was different. They were like, yeah, we're gonna make Penguin this, like, you know, this character that he's unlike anything that he grows into be, and yeah, we're gonna have, you know, Bruce run into the Joker when he's like a little kid, and everybody knows who the Joker is. It's this wide known thing that his name is Jerome. Like,
right? Yeah. What? What was kind of funny though about the Penguin was towards the end of the show,
and we got
the actor started putting on a little
Paul
weight.
Rubin.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
actually started
we get-
putting on some weight. To,
Well, there was some cool things. Like we got Paul Rubin. We got him to reprise Penguin's parents, like the
Right.
same actress from Batman Returns. I thought that was pretty dope.
That's yeah.
You know, one thing I really did like about Gotham, and there's some other things that I didn't like. Barbara Gordon, what was up with her, bro? You know, I mean, if you like Gotham, what was up with Barbara Gordon? Why was she like so crazy and twisted and
Right.
and trying to kill people, bro? What was all that, huh?
Where did that come
Okay.
from?
Okay, so like, yeah, because everybody forgets about that part of the story. Okay, but like, I'll tell you what was good about Gotham was Riddler. You know, the whole, like, his whole build up and everything, and that whole storyline. I really liked that whole storyline. I thought that was good, and it, like, especially compared to like most people knowing just like the Batman Forever Riddler or the Riddler from the '66. I thought that was a good version of the Riddler, like kind of seeing more of the intelligent, you know, what makes him do it, because that was before we got like the whole serial killer, you know, I want to be Batman's best friend Riddler
Right.
in the Matt Reeves thing.
All the different age versions of Poison Ivy. Yeah, that's right. Poison Ivy grew up fast, huh? That thing got
That was kinda-
fertilized, I think.
that was kind of weird. I don't know what was up there. There was some good things that they did, and then there was like some really questionable things. You know, it was like Solomon Grundy. I liked that we got that. He had like more of a definite story, like to who that guy was before he was Solomon Grundy. I kind of like that. But
Yeah, no,
that was like,
interesting. Riddler. What was it? Riddler and Penguin had a relationship kind of thing going on. That was interesting. I liked Zaz. You know.
yeah, I like Zaz. Zaz is one of my favorite characters. Period. Like, I mean, come on, bro. Us Ball brothers got to stick together. You know what I'm saying? No, but you talking about like, and so does Warner Brothers. They love Zaz because he's almost appeared in like every like live action thing that they, you know, he was in Batman Begins. He was in like fucking the Dark Knight trilogy. He was in like the fucking, no, but he's shown up in it. But that version of Zaz, I love that actor that played that. Have you ever watched Barry?
No, I've been meaning to though. I've heard good things about it.
That the one of the bad guys in Barry, like, he's not really, he's like a bad guy slash best friend, but it's that same actor who plays Zaz, and it's almost like the same character, but it's so brilliant. But no, I really like Zaz in Gotham. I thought he was cool.
Bullock was great.
Bullock, yeah, I will agree. They were like, that's like I can go with young James Gordon. I like that casting, you know. I liked Bullock. I mean, Fish Mooney. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a brand new character and everything, but like her beginning was okay. But like once you got to like when she like reappeared after she died or whatever, I thought that was kind of cool because they gave her powers or whatever.
True.
I'm trying to think who else. Firefly was kind of dope when they showed her, and it was like the girl. It was like the dog.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Firefly was a dope character.
What was it? Because I kind of like Batwoman too. You know, like a lot of people don't talk about that. I was mad when they switched when Ruby Rose left the project. You know, and I've heard all the stories back and forth. But Um, I like that we were. I liked who they picked as like Mary or her sister or whatever, the bad guy. The whole like Mad Hatter version of that. The second season, nah, not so much. But and I kind of wish we wouldn't have got Batwing. I don't know why they focused on like Lucius as Fox. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was better when he was just, Alfred, like the guy in the behind the computer at the desk.
I like Birds of Prey. Honestly, I thought, if you go back and watch Birds of Prey today, you can tell that it was set up directly from the Tim Burton universe. I mean, same costumes. Um, you actually get Mark Hamill playing the Joker in the beginning of that. I thought that was dope. Because that was an old show that I missed when it dropped, but I did go back as like an adult and watch that show, and I thought it was fantastic all the way through.
22 was talking about the movie. Zaz was in the Birds of Prey movie.
Oh, that version. That version of Zaz I wasn't a big fan of. He didn't really do anything or say anything or do anything. He was just there. Like, my brother didn't even know that was Zaz, and my brother loves Birds of Prey. We watch it so much. It's on the background in this house a lot. And I like Birds of Prey. It was okay, but I don't know what was up with that Zaz. That's not like Black Mask. I mean, like I get that it's interpretation, but I don't know like why he was like that in the movie, because he's not like that in any of the comics. Or like, I don't know what he was doing with his hands the whole movie. Like why that was like a thing that he needed to do the thing with his hands.
What's up, JoJo? Trev says that movie was the worst DC movie of the last 15 years. You're talking about Birds of Prey?
Birds of Prey?
I don't think that was the worst one. Last 15 years? Yeah. Try to think what other movies came out in the last 15 years.
Because I'm not one of those people where I was like, I've liked all the DC, like all the Snyderverse stuff. Okay, no, I got an answer for you. Justice League, the Joss Whedon version, is the worst DC movie of all time, in my opinion. Like, that movie, like, you're talking about after, like, I saw that movie when it dropped in theaters, and I remember walking out of the theater, I was like, that was not the movie that they showed us in the trailers. Like, fuck that. What the hell was that? And that movie pissed me the hell off. Right. No, but I'm trying to think. Worst DC movie.
Worse than Wonder Woman 1984.
That would have to be mine, 1984. And it's funny because there's bits and pieces that I do like about that movie, but you're talking about one of the worst stories that they could have given us. Like, why? You watch the movie and half of it doesn't make sense. Like, the story doesn't make sense. But then it's like, why did you pick this bad guy? Well, why Maxwell Lord? And you made him like do wishes and shit. Why didn't you just stick to Cheetah?
Yeah.
Bro, I like that version of Cheetah. I thought she killed it and stuff, and I kind of liked the way she looked and everything. And like, I thought, why don't you just focus on her? Bring back the Dr. Venom character from the first movie or something. Make it an all girl villain. No, you got to bring in some dude that grants wishes. Like,
right. Good cast, bad movie, poorly executed. Like, it has really good actors in it.
That was like her whole armor. What was the whole point of that? Like, you just flew in there to just use it like to block some bullets that you could already block the bullet. Like what the. That was good. David brought that up. Nah, I like Birds of Prey with that bad.
Yeah, I definitely would have enjoyed Birds of like Wonder Woman 84. Like, now I'm starting to remember it, but I was like, there are clearly parts of the movie I just forgot. Like,
it's a hard watch. It's like the whole like when you really think about it, like that dude just lost his life, so Wonder Woman can run around with this weird Steve Trevor, and they were like making out and doing some weird stuff, and that guy's probably like, you think about it, was he there in the back seat, that guy that Steve Trevor took over, or
yeah.
was he like, after they switched back, he was all like, bro, I actually got to like kind of fuck Wonder Woman, I was kind of there.
Right. I watched. Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of like I was in the closet, you know, like I wasn't in control, but it wasn't that bad, you know.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, I think 1984. I mean, you talk about Wonder Woman, the first movie was such a great movie, and then to go into that from that, yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before,
I don't
before
even know.
then, I'd say like Catwoman. That's the only other. I mean, maybe Batman and Robin, but I could still watch Batman and Robin and have fun with it. You know,
Right. Bat nipples. I mean,
there's some funny stuff, like the whole Bane in that movie. Like, bro, you talk about a version of a character that I hate. I don't know about you, David. You like that version of Bane? You the Bane, you know, lover. Like, bro, I had that when I saw that, you know, because I was like mid-teenager when that came out or whatever, and I saw that version of Bane. I was like, what the fuck was that? I was like, you talk about making him like as stupid as possible. Like, he was just there, big all the time. I was like,
speaking of stupid Banes, but a good Bane, the Harley Quinn animated.
oh, that's my
Bane.
favorite.
That dude.
Todd, screw you, Todd.
That's a good show. It's funny.
My favorite joke that came out of that whole show, and there's so many great jokes that came out. I mean, that show is just a masterpiece in itself. Like, and it's funny because they did just as good a job with the comic that they as that animated show. But the whole gag with like them not giving Bane like a proper chair in the League of the Legion of Doom or whatever, and they give him that like that little bullshit like folding chair, and then like you have to. It's like shit. I think the whole joke is like 12 or 14 episodes long or something like that. But like the first couple of times, you just see like Bane sitting in this like cheap ass folding chair, and nothing is said. But you know, if you notice in the scene, everybody else has like a theme chair and it's all nice and everything. And I think it's like it's brought up like a couple episodes later, and he's like, "When am I gonna get a nice chair? Like, why does like I love that shit. Like, I like some of the questions that the show brought up about like what does the Batmobile, what the inside of the Batmobile smell like during missions and. David said, I do like Batman and Robin version of Bane. It was different, but that is okay. Saw the movie 4 straight times on opening day. Damn, David. And we're talking about bat nipples, Batman and Robin. Like, holy metal, Batman and Robin.
Somebody likes bat nipples. At least we got Ledger with that trilogy.
See, I'm one of those people that I'm not so much a Heath Ledger Joker fan. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't do an awesome performance. I'm not saying that he didn't kill the role. I just, in my opinion, it's not a version of Joker that I really recognize. Like, I mean, up until that point, we didn't really have like a Joker that just ran around like with this anarchy scheme. Like, he always had jokes or punchlines or something like that. He had like gimmicks, and I think that was like the first Joker that really. I mean, up until you get to the bomb situation with the boats and everything, like he was kind of just like, you know, wreaking havoc and trying to prove his point and stuff. I think they were trying to do 2 versions of the Joker, and it just came off kind of weird because it was like One Bad Day, where it was like Joker trying to prove that, you know, that's all it took was one bad day, and then it was like they were trying to do like the White Knight story from, you know, Batman Year One or whatever, and I don't know, it just kind of, I don't know. I'm not speaking ill of Heath Ledger at all. I thought he did a phenomenal performance. To me, it's just not the version of Joker that.
I mean, I could see what you're saying, right? It's not the Joker you know or the Joker you grew up with, but at the same time, Heath Ledger did a really great acting job. It's just
I love it.
Character you know or connect with.
For me, it's like, I mean, I can't say he's not up there on the list of Jokers, but I know everybody hates on Jared Leto's Joker, but honestly, I like that version a little better because he was closer to some of the iterations that we've seen in comics or animated series and stuff like that. Heath Ledger would have been like his version of Joker for most people would have been, and for me, it was all brand new. You've never seen just a like a Joker with no purpose kind of thing. You know, up until the point where that point wasn't proven anymore. We've never seen something like that. So that's kind of my point. Nah, but I thought he killed. You know, as far as the design, and I was so hyped up seeing that damn playing card at the end of Batman Begins. Seeing all that, I love all the promotional stuff for I love the movie. I thought I love all three of the movies, and I'm not one of those persons because I saw 22 said that. I don't think he was the worst Batman ever. I think it was just a different take. But I don't think he's on the low totem side. I'd say he's on the higher.
No, he's definitely, yeah, he's up there. Christian Bale, one of the worst Batmans ever. I didn't like his voice. You know,
I kind of did and I kind of didn't. I don't know. It worked for me. It was something different. And I get that it wasn't supposed to be comic book. It was supposed to be set in the real world. But at the same time, I mean, look at the Bane we got. You know, you can still be true to the character and you can make it a real. Because who's the Joker? To me, is one of those characters that is done easily in the real world. Like that's all you got to do is have somebody crazy enough to do the stuff that he's doing. Because technically he just runs into a theater and he's like, "Hey, I got a joke," and he sprays everybody with gas. You know, kills everybody dead,
blowing up hospitals. Why does no one ever talk about Alan Tudyk as Joker in Harley Quinn animated series? In my opinion, it's the best version since Mark Hamill.
I did like that version of Joker. And there's a lot of different versions of Jokers because we've had a bunch of different voice actors that have done, you know, Joker over the years. Keith Richards, I think, did he's kind of one of my favorite Jokers, because I'm big into like the whole laugh that Joker has, and I think for me that's why Mark Hamill is one of the better ones because he has that that crazy maniacal sounding. You know, for me it's on the edge of like insanity, but at the same time just a normal laugh kind of thing. But I think there have been a lot of different voice actors that have done, because I don't know, I know if anybody watched Lost, like the main bad guy that was on Lost, like he did the Joker's voice in one of the animated movies or whatever. I can't remember the actor's name.
Hey, what's up, Naman? Speaking of animated people being the best, Will Arnett, one of the better Batman ever.
I like Will Arnett. And the Lego Batman.
He's a good Batman. Here's why I say one of the worst. Most people hate the third movie because of the villain, so not even the main character could make it a good movie then. Yeah, okay. Talking about Christian Bale as Batman. And then the third movie.
I think for me it was just the ending. It's just the ending that they chose, you know. And if they would have chose a different ending and had it go in a different direction, because I get why he chose that ending, so it'd have like a definite ending or whatever. But at the same time, you didn't have to end it like that, where it's like it's weird, like, you know, did he live? Didn't he live? Did Alfred see? You know, it's like, come on, you're making it too confusing. Like, you could have just had Batman fly off with Catwoman, and like, you know, you had a good. Yeah, I don't know. They could have did. To me, I think the ending was what, because bro, honestly, the beginning of the third movie is some of my favorite scenes from any movie, like with Bane, like doing that whole airplane scene and everything, and the whole setup of that scene. I thought that was fantastic. Like the music that goes in that scene, cinematography, the setup of the story at that time. I thought it was fantastic. When you go back to it and like you watch it from like a realistic angle, it doesn't make any sense, but at the same time, like, hey, I thought, you know, like I don't think you'd be able to hear like some gunshots at that high altitude, like, you know, unless you had some like, you know, good headphones on or whatever. But like,
my name's Brain.
No, but like honestly, that like one of my favorite scenes in that movie is that scene where Bane gets him in that fight. Well, there's two scenes. There's one scene where it's like they supposedly killed like Commissioner Gordon, and he was like, "Yeah, where's the body?" And he's like, "Well, you know, I don't know. He went that way." And he was like, "Well, you know, if there's no body, you know, show me the body." He just shoots that guy, and he's like, "Go get it," you know. No, but the other scene is like that whole face-off the breaking of the bat scene. I thought that was done fantastically. The way like Batman enters that cage, Catwoman closes it off behind her. He finds out that he's been betrayed. And sure enough, Bane's there. Batman's not exactly ready for Bane, but he's like, "Fuck it, let's do it." And like Batman tries doing all that, like he's throwing out like smoke bombs and shit. And Bane, bro, the speech that's honestly one of my favorite speeches out of a movie. Like he was like, and I think that's been memed so many times now. He was like, "Oh, you were born? Oh, you live in the shadow? I was born in the shadows," And I love that whole shit. You talk about a villain speech, and not only that, but it's a villain speech where where like the hero couldn't get out of it. No, he gets his ass beat as the villain's getting his, giving his villain speech, his montage. I love that scene.
Yeah, I think Tom Hardy's Bane definitely was one for talking, right? Which is not something we got out of a lot of Banes. So his Bane was definitely, heard, which is different. It's nice.
We got to see like the more calculating, and and that's kind of the Bane that I like, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I mean that's a Bane that exists in the comics. There is a Bane that is calculating and makes plans and tries to be head of the table. Does it always work? No, but there is definitely a Bane who tries to be that top villain, and it's good to see that. I did want to touch upon. I saw somebody mention Michael Keaton in his fight scenes, and in the Flash, and I thought I you know what, Michael Keaton to me still ranks as probably the best Batman for me. Maybe a popular, maybe not, but I like it.
It's always hard. I love Keaton as Batman, and I loved Keaton in the Flashback. I thought that was some of the better, he still has it, kind of thing.
Right. He definitely has a charisma or a stage, a screen presence. When he's on the screen.
Is he my favorite Batman? It's hard to say. Like I'd say right now, like Ben Affleck. I love Ben as Batman, but now
he's
that
a good
he's
Dark
not,
Knight, Frank Miller Batman.
Yes, that older style, that beefier, and I like that. I thought he fit that role. But as far as like so far, and I know a lot of people will be against this, but I really like the Robert Pattinson version of Batman. But I think right now, since they're still doing like year 2 or whatever, technically he's not Batman yet. He's still like becoming the Batman or whatever.
Right.
So I'd like to see like I'll give that answer after we get like a third Matt Reeves, like the trilogy or whatever, and we get to see like Batman at his top. After he's, I don't know.
What I will say about Michael Keaton Batman though, when you see him in the suit, is you do realize he's probably one of the smaller Batman. Like
Keaton, yeah.
He's not a beefy Batman. He's not a tall Batman. He's a guy in a bat suit. But
I think that's my problem with Keaton, and it wasn't a hindrance before because we had Batman and Batman Returns, and I love both those movies and everything. But honestly, like for the Flash, I kind of would have liked to see him in another suit. Like, yeah, we got to see him in some different variations, but honestly, I would have liked to see him in maybe a Ben Affleck bat suit or something, to see it. Because my whole problem with the whole Keaton, and he voices it, is the whole neck. He's always so stiff when he's like, and it's like, and it's just the way the suit is set up. It's not really Michael Keaton, it's just the build, because he didn't really have a cowl. It's like a whole like plastic getup that just connects to the bottom part of the suit,
Yeah, it's not very useful, I feel like guys could just sneak up on the side of him, like punch him in the side of the face, and he'd be like, "Stop! I can't turn."
I would have loved to see that, like him as Thomas Wayne, and them really do Flashpoint, and we get to see like Michael Keaton again in his own solo movie. But I know you can't say never, especially when it comes to like making movies. So, but Michael Keaton is getting up there in years, so they better do it quickly.
But a Thomas Wayne would have been a cool Batman to get in this one. I do think that Michael Keaton though does make a really good Bruce Wayne too. I like his Bruce Wayne, his portrayal of Bruce Wayne. I think that's what's he's a good actor, right? So that he can do a Bruce Wayne, and he's not your prototypical Bruce Wayne, but oh, we got
Now,
a
see, I would.
in there. I'm just
Yo,
what's up?
Yo,
what's happening?
Aaron's in the house. What's up, Psychotronic Squirt Gun?
I'm just scanning some comic books into the CLZ app here.
Nice.
But, yeah, I'll totally stop. Thought I'd say hi to you. Happy 50th, man. What's up, Mike?
what's up, man?
What's up, everybody? This is my first stream ever. So, well, besides some other stuff. But,
First appearance.
related there. First appearance. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
How you guys doing? You're talking about Batman, huh?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And oh wait, something about Heath. Yeah. We were talking about Batman, probably who we consider the best Batman. Mike needs some more proof of concept. He needs to see a little bit more of the new Batman.
And I will say, I'm not a big fan of Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne from Batman and Batman Returns. I think that's where he lacked in the first two movies. But in The Flash, I will say I did like that version of Bruce Wayne that we saw. Like, I want to say that was a lot truer to the comics. Like, I thought they did a good job with that.
Yeah. That's the problem with the new Batman, right? Is the Bruce Wayne's not that convincing, right? Is that, or do you like that? You like the new Bruce Wayne?
Now, that's another question. I don't know. I don't know if I've given it that much thought about Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
It's more. I think I've been more focused on his Batman versus did he pull off a good Bruce Wayne? Because I don't know if we saw enough of his Bruce Wayne in that movie.
Yeah, he was more like a distraught. Well, you think Bruce Wayne is like that playboy, that billionaire, and I don't think he fit the bill there. But I did like that movie because I was going into it with like a lot of low expectations, and actually it was pretty good. They did Gotham pretty well, I think.
Thought it was good.
Yeah, I did like. I don't want to give it. I mean, for those of you who haven't seen The Flash.
I haven't seen it, but go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, no, I like what they did with all the Batman there, right? There was more than one Batman who.
I will say that's kind of one of my small complaints because they did give us enough of good cameos. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. But like at one point they did show, if you've seen the movie, and it's not too much of a spoiler, but at one time you do get to see multiple worlds full of different like iterations of those characters, and some of the worlds get closer, and that's where you get some of the cool cameos. Like you get to see different versions of Superman, or you get to see different versions of Batman. But I wish like some of those worlds, because there was a green, there was a red, there was a blue, and all those focus on a certain character. It would have been cool. It would have been cool to have Green Lantern's world come closer. But I mean, I don't know, small complaints. But I thought we got to see it
yeah, totally, man. Kingdom Come, right? If they do that movie, that'd be great.
Yeah, Trev just said that. Like 10 years from now, have all those guys come back.
Yeah,
that would be.
Maybe they got to establish the new DC, universe first.
I think that'll be the first Elseworld movie that we get is Kingdom Come, and I think they hinted it like.
That would be freaking awesome.
But I think
that's how recently it still holds up,
Yeah. And I honestly, I think with the new actor that they're bringing in, plus like the use of Henry Cavill in the background, I think Henry Cavill will play like an excellent older Superman with the new guy playing the younger version of the Superman in the main Superman movie.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
we have an older Batman, Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
So now, Will, did we get to interview you yet? Like, like how did you get into comics, that kind of thing? I don't want to digress too far from what you guys are talking about, but
you want to ask questions?
Well, yeah, it's your 500 subscriber, right?
Yeah,
celebration, and let's start off with like, how the heck did you get into comics?
Really boring.
I guess none of it's really exciting when you talk about it, but
So my dad was kind of into comics. He didn't really have any, but he was very much into he liked the superhero movies. Like we went to Blockbuster, he'd be like, "Oh, do you want to superhero and video game kind of movies?" So like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, pick up like the old Spider-Man TV show, or there was a Captain America movie way back when, but if we saw something weird or superhero based or video game based, movie wise, he'd be like, I used to collect comics when I was a kid. He's like, or play video games. Like, let's check these out. Also, he was in the military, and right outside the base was like a comic book store. So every time like we drive on or off base, we always pass this comic book store. But I think the inciting moment, or the moment that actually got me into comics, was we went to like a thrift store. And I think my dad was like buying some furniture or something. But right by the register, there was just a rack, like big wooden rack with comics on it.
Oh, cool.
And I think they were like $1 a piece or something. And I was like, hey, can I pick up some comics while we're here? And my dad's like, sure. And so I picked up a lot of comics, including Secret Wars. They had Secret Wars on there. So that was like
the original.
Yeah, that was like my first taste of comics, was picking up
an event.
Comics. So yeah, it was like, and that's like one of the first like real event comics that comes out. So I pick up a bunch of Secret Wars. I picked up like Wally the Wizard. What else was there? There was like some Smurfs on that shelf too. Count Duckula. So Camp Candy was another one I remember that was on the shelf.
So you were able to grab a whole bunch at once, or?
Yeah, I think
your dad was like, "Hey, let's get these."
Yeah, I got most of the Secret Wars run.
Wow.
There was a couple that were missing. I got a couple of like other comics that were just there. But I probably picked up 20, like almost 30 comics that day.
Wow.
That was like my first. Yeah, that was like my
did you like Marvel before that, from video games and movies and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I had liked Spider-Man. I had like Spider-Man toys when I was a kid.
Yeah, so Spidey was your guy.
Spidey was my guy growing up. The Hulk was a close second. Then Captain America. I like the Avengers. Those were my dudes.
So you had them all in one event.
Yeah, and I got them all. Yeah, my first
then
comic.
Then you saw the X-Men.
Right. So it was. I had the toys. Like I said, I was watching the animated shows and all that other stuff, and then I got all the comics. So comics actually for me, which I feel like is quite. It's what happens today. It's what people will get into comics through other mediums, TV, movies, whatever it is, books. And so that's kind of like what happened with me. It was TV. There weren't really any movies per se, but it was more like the television shows, the toys, those kind of things. Golden books, at school, the posters, all that stuff introduced me to the comic characters. And then my first comic haul was, Secret Wars. And I get all those characters in one. DC comes a little later, but Batman, Superman, those kind of things.
So you were a kid when you got all that, right? You were young.
And then that was the gateway, right? So it went from that to let's stop at the comic book store outside the base. And
so you ever get the Mark Jewelers inserts? I guess those came from bases, right? But that's old comics, right?
Those were a little bit before my time. So
I didn't even know what those were until later on in life. I don't think I ever came across them.
I mean, I came across them, but I didn't know they're from bases,
Yeah, I might have come across them, but I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, so those came a little bit earlier, but yeah, those are definitely like I'm pretty sure I came across a few of those with my dad's friends who would show me their comic collection, whatever, and I'd be like, oh, what's that? And it was an insert, And I'm also sure that I missed a golden opportunity to buy some back issues, because when you're a kid, you just the rack. But there was a military comic shop right there, and I'm pretty sure if I went to the back issues, there was some Mark Jeweler, variants in those back bins. Please tell me you got Secret Wars 8 for $1. No. So here's the thing, though. I bought Spider-Man 252 probably about 20 years ago, I bought ASM 252 first black costume for less than $50. It was like 30 something plus shipping on eBay, right? And I talked the guy down. He was at 50, and I was like, I'm a college kid. I'll give you like 38, 35, whatever. To get me to seal the deal, he gave me a Secret Wars number 8. He threw in Secret Wars number 8 with ASM 252.
What?
And if you look at the Secret Wars I have, there's a green stripe on top of the book. And so I forget the explanation, but I was like, this marker on this book, right? I was like, this book is not worth anything. The guy kind of agreed with me. I found out later on it was like a newsstand thing they did. They put like this green marker over the top to like differentiate the book or whatever. And so it was quite common. So I sent that into CGC to get graded, and it came back like a 9.2 or something like that. But it was a throw-in book. The ASM 252 I paid for came back an 8.5.
Wow.
So I talked the guy down to basically $40 for ASM 252 and a Secret Wars number 8.
Did you hold on to them?
I do. They're in a box upstairs.
Oh, good for you, man.
Sunlight.
Yeah.
Those were actually like, for me, those were like, that was like the first time I ventured out to pay more than like cover, or like $5 more than cover.
Sure.
Like, it was like the first time I was like, you know what, I'm gonna treat myself and buy myself a big comic.
Yeah.
252 back then actually, was still a pretty big comic. The guy wanted 50. I talked him down to 38, and I got the ASM 8. But that
I used to have those. I have to get them back. In 2008, I had to sell like my whole collection, and I just never got back into buying back issues until like, I don't know, like 6 months ago or something. I just freaked out. I was like, what am I doing? And so
I did lose some of my collection, not because I sold it. I think when I went away to college, I gave some away, gave away to friends, to my brother. I was just trying to. I was like, I can't take. I went away to college, so I was like, I can't take them with me. And my mom was like, I kind of need the space, and I was like, all right. So she let me store some. I had like 2 short boxes, but like my long box couldn't really, put anywhere. So I gave away some of my more popular books. Like a lot of my ASM went out.
Oh yeah.
And then the early stuff, like my early Spawn runs, just stuff like that, ended up going out. And then I kept like my Smurf collection or whatever. It's like I think I totally picked the wrong books. No, Smurf 1 I think has a good premium, but no. But like I gave away my Avenger books and all that other stuff, and I was like, oh man. But again, 2011. What we're talking. 2011 was when I really got back into collecting comics, and I think that started with the New 52. So I kind of jumped back into comics with DC, right? So my comic collecting starts with Marvel, and then I'm reinvigorated with DC, and that had all to do with a guy called Scott Snyder and his Batman.
Oh yeah, that's good. You got that.
Yeah, and I read that Snyder book because a buddy of mine was like, you got to read is it Dark Mirror or Black Mirror? Black Mirror. He's like, this Snyder dude, and that was, I think, was Detective Comics. He was like, this guy Snyder's writing a really good book, and I kind of read it, but not really. I started reading it, but I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then New 52 starts. That Batman run comes out with Greg Capullo, and I opened that book, and I'm like, this is a really good comic. I'm enjoying this.
Court of Owls, man. That first arc is so incredible.
So Snyder and Capullo write like a seminal Batman book, right? It's like you consider like the top 5 or top 10 Batman stories.
Yeah.
So that pulls me back into comic collecting, and at this point, I'm just kind of buying books that I like. Right? There's no like spec involved, but again, this is around the same time that spec starts to become a thing. And I actually hated spec when I first started, right? I'm like, what are these, right? So I'm skipping on all these books now that are like 100, like Ultimate Fallout 4. They're like, oh, new Spider-Man. I'm like, F new Spidey.
Grabbed it. Yeah.
And now I'm like, I remember being, because I used to work in Midtown Manhattan. I remember going to Midtown Comics, and they had like it was like the 2-week-old section, and they still have Ultimate Fallout 4 like in the bag on the shelf, like a pile of them. And I'm just like, man, I look back at that and I was like, I could have grabbed 2 or 3 off the shelf and, you know, been set to buy, you know, some big book later on in the future. Whatever. I missed out on that, but now I love Miles, and I'm like, could have got Miles for cover price way back when, but I was Spidey, yeah. Later on, I read The Death of Spider-Man. I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
If only we had a time machine, right?
Yeah. So yeah, but there's a ton of books that were on that shelf going into Midtown. They always had like a huge selection, and I was like, I'm gonna stick to what I know. And now I venture out a little bit more, not because of the spec, but because there are books, even if there's a new character that comes out that you're not quite sure of, maybe you check it out, and if you like them, you like them. If you don't, you don't. But you should always give a character a chance. So like, I didn't give Miles a chance when we began. I also didn't give Immortal Hulk a chance when they had the Avengers. You know, all that stuff. And then I go back and I read these, and like the Immortal Hulk series by Al Ewing is like one of the better current, you know, one of the better modern series out there. You know, 50 issues or 51 issues of really good Hulk story, horror Hulk story.
Yeah, horror Hulk, yeah.
That's when Al Ewing really broke out, you know, and I like his stuff before that too. So
yeah, no, it's so good. So yeah, that's kind of my, I guess, abridged journey into comics, and then, you know, back into comics.
So you got onto YouTube in what year?
Basically at the start of the pandemic. So
19,
towards the end of 19, basically into 20. Let's say like my first video probably comes out around March of. I'm in the YouTube community in 19, and then I started making videos early 2020.
Okay. I thought it was before that when I was jumping on. See, that's the time.
You know, I could be wrong. It could have been 19, because you were definitely one of the first people who jumped on. So I think it was 18 is when I started watching guys like 18. I started watching guys like the Comic Jabroni, what's his I forget his name, but Rican in his comics. He was doing Sundays. He was doing like the new comic book. He was basically doing, you know, what a lot of people do now, and he was introducing new comic channels. Just the Rican in his comics. That was it. And you know, I'm watching those shows, and the Comic Jabroni, who he actually passed away, I think, in 19 or 20. He was one of the first channels though that I really connected with, and we had some emails, like not even like Instagram posts or whatever, like actual emails and, you know, messages. We connected. But he was like, you know, if you ever have the inkling to do a channel, like, just do it. There's no right moment. Just do it.
That's what I discovered. Yeah.
And so, yeah, you can plan, you know, get all high-tech gear, have the 4K camera. None of that matters unless you actually just do it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you got to just do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
now I'm starting to learn video editing, you know, and it's a lot of fun, actually. I'm starting to like it.
Yeah, I see. Oh, we got people heading out. Trev, hold on. Let's just do the final giveaway before everybody heads away. I think we're getting late and probably should. But yeah, video editing is fun too. Yeah. I play around with it here and there.
It's interesting.
All right, so this is the last giveaway of the night. Something's Killing the Children, 9.8. This is the 8th printing. This is the one you got if you bought like the first 2 issues of Berserker. A lot of shops held on to it. I don't know. They weren't really giving it out, but I got one. And this was actually given to me for this specific event, for my 500 sub giveaway. This was given to me by my LCS, my local comic shop, Red Shirt Comics in New York. If you're ever on Long Island, check them out. But yeah, they very nice gift. They said, hey, congrats on your success. We want to contribute to your channel. So I said, thanks. Cool. So they gave me this book. So 9.8 CGC graded. Well,
It's really
just
nice.
for you guys. So let me set up the hashtag. We'll give
Good
this a
one,
look.
Rising Rhino.
Still here.
Still here.
I got here too late, man. I had no clue this was going on tonight.
Yeah. So, but no, thanks for jumping on. Yeah, tomorrow actually, Rising Rhino and Rising Rhino does a lot of sports related hangouts. So if you want to watch a game but you can't, Rising Rhino will put it on. Actually, he can't show it, but he'll talk about the game and hang out and broadcast it. And had a really good success doing it. And tomorrow I'm going to jump on with them for the MLB All-Star game, and we'll have like a hangout and talk about what's happening with the All-Star game. So that is what I'll be doing tomorrow with another awesome member of the community, Rising Rhino. All right, so let's go. And thank you guys. I'd like to thank you for, it's 500 people apparently who at some point said, your channel's okay, and I appreciate that.
Your channel's okay.
Yeah, it's just okay. Yeah.
Channel's better than okay. Get out of here.
We had 16 people here. I don't know what happened. I was like, let's give away a book, and we went from like 11 to 16, and that's awesome. So people have that.
It jumped up.
Yeah, so it's really awesome. It's really awesome. So here we go. Hashtag thank you. Go ahead and put that in, and we'll give this away. But yeah, and it's awesome having you guys here. Mike, I appreciate every time you're on. I feel like we vibe really well. And Aaron, for your first live show, I would think you've been.
I missed it. I can't believe I missed it. I'm
for your first live,
you still showed up.
I feel like you've been on like maybe half a dozen times. So it's I think this comes naturally to you, Aaron, and that's really cool to see the progression. From checking out my YouTube vids to like doing it yourself, and I'm like,
yeah,
killing it. You're killing it, Aaron.
Thanks.
That's super cool.
I'm just having a good time. I'm happy to meet everyone. So it's cool. I like it.
Patreon for David. Yes, I have one person in the community. What's up, Davis? Who requires me to have a Patreon. So at some point, it's taken me like a month just to like go to the website and put my name in. At some point. Hashtag grassroots. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but no, yeah. Again, thanks to everybody out there. And there are always 4 people who don't enter every time. It doesn't matter how many people. If there's 20 people, only 16 people enter. like
I sometimes wonder about the math on YouTube. You know how you gain a subscriber, then it disappears for a day and it comes back.
Yeah, right.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's weird.
I think that's a bot.
You'll get stuck at certain numbers for a good minute.
Yeah.
It's really weird. One time I was doing a giveaway and I think I had like 14 entries, but like 10 people were watching. And I'm just like, how does that happen? How do I have more entries than people watching?
Sometimes, some weeks I have more comments than I have views, or I have a lot of comments but not that many views. But then other ones I have lots of views and no comments.
And no comments.
Or just
right.
Just like, I don't get it, man.
Like how 99
it's
people
chaos.
watch this, but I have 1 comment.
Yeah, exactly. I get that. You gotta look at my like bigger viewed videos, and it's like there's like 5 comments, 600 views.
Yeah, what's up?
It's all good, Callie and Davis. It's all good. All right. So yeah, we got 16 and 12 in. I'll run it for another 10 seconds, and then we're gonna spin. I saw you put out a video today, Aaron.
Yeah. I normally drop them Mondays and Thursdays, but I might just go down to Mondays. I don't know. I keep saying that, but
okay.
we'll see what happens.
whatever whatever works, whatever floats your boat. Sometimes you got to have that work-life balance.
Yeah, that's what it is for me. Like I didn't make it to your thing last week because a friend of mine had family in town. I had to, I would have been there. So.
Gotcha. All right, let's spin this. Let's do it. We got it from, there was 15 people watching and 14 entered, and I was like, that's about as close as we got. Gary
Words. Congratulations.
All right, Gary. Gary needs his music, so I actually had that queued up, Gary.
Going back to Cali.
Gary's music.
It's the West, just now, slow. Looking out the dawn, we see on. Looking on bones in the house of blue. I'm going back to Cali.
Congratulations, Gary. Congratulations. There you go. So, Gary will be getting.
Right, Trev.
Hashtag rigged. Yeah. Trevor's going to go to bed. He stuck around, and then it was like, All right, so Gary, I'm pretty sure I have your address, so I'll put this in the mail.
What do you guys think of the series currently? Have you been following it? I know you guys probably have, right?
I've been on Killing the Children since issue 1.
Yeah. I have every one up to maybe I kind of dropped it, I think, lately though.
Right.
I don't know if I should. I'm kind of nervous about it.
We'll see. I think what comes out this week is House of Slaughter. I think comes out this week.
Yeah, I have the first few of those too.
Yeah.
I think this week is just Ghost Lore and a new book, Sister something from Boom. I don't think we get either House of or something that's kind of chill. Not this week.
Next week. Yeah, there's nothing from Boom this week. That's right. It's either next week or, well, not that there's nothing out of Boom. But there's nothing from Boom that I'm reading this week. There is a new #1 though, Sirens of the City. There's a Frizen cover for that one. That's the only reason I remember that one. I like Jenny Frizen's artwork. And apparently Kari Randolph is doing the interiors. So that should be pretty cool. But, all right. But, yeah, we're at the 2 hour and almost.
I know. I feel bad I missed it, but hey.
No, it's fine. There'll be future ones.
Let's do this.
We'll be at 600 soon enough. We'll do another one for that. And you could just jump on any weekly one if you want. I'm not against you coming on. Cool. I love when people come on. It's a really fun time. I started this really during the pandemic because I couldn't get to a comic shop. I couldn't talk to anyone. And I wanted to talk comics. I wanted to know what was happening in the comic community. Yeah. So, but I didn't want to just watch and, type in the chat. I wanted to actually voice my opinion live.
Yeah.
I wanted to see my animated face. So
yeah,
that's
you were like one of the first channels I connected with. So man, I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of introverted a little bit, so it's definitely cool that,
No, and I appreciate you being there, and it's so cool to watch like the progression, right? So I'm sure somebody saw me in their chat and then saw me do a video, and they're like, "Oh, cool," and I saw you do the same thing, and I'm like, "Sweet," and if anybody out there is ever debating it, but you want to do it, and if you don't like it, then you stop doing it. Like there's no consequence to try it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right now I'm still enjoying it, so I'm just gonna keep doing it and see what happens.
Do it till you can't do it no more.
Good night, Gary.
Good night, Gary. Congrats to all the winners. Chop was here earlier. He won something. Steve was here. Steve Hayner, he won something. Steve Hayner, he's been around for a while too. He's a great supporter of the community, especially on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. But yeah. All right. So We're gonna call it a night, guys. I mean, who doesn't
All right.
need rush hours? But I got work in the morning. I'm pretty sure you got work in the morning.
Yeah.
Maybe you have work in the morning. I don't know.
That's
Some
all
of you
good.
guys are on the West Coast or Central. I'm on the East Coast. It's already midnight.
Mike, you on the West Coast?
Nah, Mountain Time.
Mountain time. You can't leave. I'm a grown ass man. I do what I want. You won last week, all right? I have a bunch of books here with your name on it. Yo, everybody. They say rich right here. That's Rising Rhino. By the way, guys, I am not UPS or FedEx. I don't expect your books in 2 to 3 days. 2 to 3 weeks is more likely, but I'll try to get these winnings out as soon as possible. All right. Don't worry, I didn't forget about you. And I won't forget about you guys. So thank you very much for being here. All right, comic fans. Do what you do. I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna go to sleep. Yeah.
Yep, me too.
Good night.
Good night,
Thanks,
everybody.
Thanks, Will. See you, Mike.
Congrats,
Bye,
Will. Bye.
It's just me now. You like that? All right, later.
So I forgot to end the stream. So anybody who's still here, I didn't end the broadcast. Yeah. So I just left the studio and then never ended the broadcast. So I am literally just gonna end it now. Deuces. Peace. I want to see and prize tag. Yes, and I sent that out. Cat Fan got his books. All right. Peace out, everybody. I didn't fool you. I know. Joke's on me.